So now this is time for the meditation. In the practice of a meditation, we have to choose the comfortable position and suitable place where there is less distractions. And making a motivation that during this half an hour time will be sitting and consciously contemplating on the primary object, keeping your body straight, upright, and keep it still if possible, as long as you can. And gently spend few moments observing the breath, in-breath and out-breath. And releasing all the tensions that you have. The primary object that we are using is a breath related, and wherever you feel and obvious that mind goes and establishes using that as an object of concentration, and you have to choose which one that you would like to make it as your primary object, and working with that until you feel fully established. Our mind never satisfied. Want to get one thing, and once you got it, before you fully understood it, you will change to something else. It's like a child looking for different toys. Every time when new toy comes, enjoys for a while and then just leave it aside and wait for the new toys. So mind is like that, always looking for new, always looking for excitement, entertainment. And normally it goes to the unwholesome activities, akusala dhammas, and continuously doing that becomes a behavior and our character. We indulge in that way. So as a result of that, we are lost in the worldly matters, unable to peel the layers and layers to find out the true essence of our life. So having a primary object and working with that is essential to train this mind. Working with the primary object is not easy because mind is not used to. Mind always thinking one after another, and when we choose to pay attention to, mind tend not to stay with it. So that's why once we have chosen an object, a basic object, which doesn't involve imagination, verbalization, but the true reality as pertaining it to be, breath-related object. And repeatedly we're bringing it back again and again, bringing the mind back to be with this object again and again. Sometimes we can pay attention to it 1 or 2 times and the mind will just drift away. But do not be disappointed. Gently bring it back again to pay attention to it. It's like you are training a puppy dog. When you are training a dog, you need a lot of patience and a lot of dedication, keeping this puppy to do one thing again and again every day, every moment, until the puppy dog becomes used to with it and able to perform correctly as the owner wished it to do. So similarly, our mind is like that. Treat it as a puppy dog and training it. Do not hit the dog. Do not argue with the dog, but gently bring it back. And paying attention to that object again and again. So repetition is the first ladder that we have to come across and master of it. In order to be mastered, one has to establish in a sila, the precepts. That's why Buddha said, Sile patithaya naro sapanyo. A wise one will establish themselves on the precepts properly. Chittang panyanja bhavayang. Once fully established on the sila, the precepts, he will dedicate to cultivate the concentration and wisdom. And we can see from our practice, when we violate our sila, our precepts, it makes our mind more restless. Mind become more agitated, unsettled, always lost into the thoughts. So bodily and verbally actions, once controlled through the precepts, it's easier to meditate and concentrate on the object. So developing this repetition and patiently repeating again and again, pay attention to the primary object, rising, falling of the breath, incoming breath, outgoing breath, rising, falling. If you feel comfortable with the breath incoming and outgoing, as breathe in and breathe out, mentally making a mental note, I am breathing in, I am breathing out, to begin with. Or if you are using the abdomen as a primary object, as it rises, aware of rising, making a mental note of its rising. When it's falling, making a mental note of a falling. And that's the basic preliminary exercise in the practice of a meditation one has to master of. And this is the foundation building too. When we are working with it, our foundation very strong, meditation, our samadhi, the concentration is really strong and very easy to develop the rest of other practices. So as you sit, observing one object and working with that to begin with, whether it is in-breath and out-breath, or whether it is rising, falling, wherever you feel comfortable. And remember, you're not thinking, you're not making it to happen. There is no interference with the process. It needs to happen naturally. You have no control at all. You are not controlling at all. You are simply controlling your mind to be aware of things that is taking place. If you are regulating the breath, or if you are regulating the process, it's not a natural process. It's not natural. It's your wish. It's you doing it. And we don't want it in the practice. You are just a watcher, like a bird watcher, hiding in the hive and watching the birds play. No interference at all. Let it play naturally, in natural way. Our job is simply to observe as it's play, and consciously having a clear consciousness about it. So settle down yourself on the primary object and be mindful of that, every action that is taking place. So we'll practice loving kindness meditation. So relax yourself. Feel the sensations throughout the body. And bring your attention to your hands, aware of sensations in your hands. And bring that attention to your heart, feeling the beating heart, whether placing your hand or smiling. And feel the beating heart. Feel the connection with your heart and generating loving kindness and compassion to yourself. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be at peace. May I be free from suffering, free from anxiety, animosity, jealousy, ill will, hatefulness, hatred. May I be liberated. And similarly, sharing a loving kindness and compassion to all of the sentient beings, far and wide. Whatever beings there are, visible and invisible beings, may they be happy. May they be well. May they be free from sufferings. May they be liberated. Now bring your attention back to your hands, aware of sensation in your hand and to your body. And to your eyes. As you hear the gong slowly coming out from meditation, and reflect for a few moments.